Hi, my name is Melissa and I'm a Teachers Pay Teachers seller. I've been selling for 9 months now. I started back in April of 2023 during my spring break and have been selling from then until now. It is now January. So I wanted to do a quick report breakdown of each of the months and also my 9 month report from April to December. I do think it's important to share these things just because, at least in my experience, I've been following a lot of, the big sellers and, learning from them. And I guess I get a little bit intimidated by just how big those stores are and how successful they are. And it kind of at times makes me feel like I'm not as successful. So I like to watch the smaller and newer seller videos just to kind of see where I am, because there's no exact science to it. So by no means is, all niches the same. By no means are anyone's products or stores and resources the same, but hopefully this will be helpful for your store. And leave a comment below and just let me know how you're doing and any insights you might have or questions you might have. All right, so I'll break it down for the year. So again, I started in April. During that 1 week span, I cranked out a bunch of resources over my spring break, and by a bunch I mean like 30. I've been teaching for 4 years, but I've taught many different grade levels and many different courses at the high school level. So all of my resources are my own. I really had to start from scratch. So I put up 30 things that I just really liked, random things, no rhyme or reason, and I made $171.99 with 1,674 views, 36 units sold, and a 2.2 conversion rate. Then in May, I was still just cranking out random products of lessons that I have and resources, and I had a total of 50 products. I made $512.22 with 1,351 views, 76 units sold, and a 5.6 conversion rate. And then, of course, June, things drop back down. Everyone's out of school or going to be out of school. So by then, I added another 13 products. I had 63 products. I made $248.08. I had 619 views, 33 units sold, and a 5.3% conversion rate. July was a little bit more, interestingly, since school was out, but I then had 75 resources. I made a few more in June. I made $378.89. I had 1,221 views, 50 products sold or units sold, and a conversion rate of 3.8%. So basically from April to July, I was just kind of building my inventory, making a couple $100 a month, conversion rate 5% or below. But then throughout July, I made a bunch of back to school resources. So this is where I took some old lesson plans that I've had, but also started making new ones that I thought would be interesting. Even if I couldn't use them in my own classroom, I am still a classroom teacher. But August was crazy. So in August, I had 98 products. Again, I was just pumping them out over the summer. Again, no rhyme or reason to it. And I made $3,655.86. So that was a big one for me. I did not expect that at all, considering that I was putting up products with, again, no rhyme or reason. I did have a few back to school products, like I said, that I had previously used in my classroom, and some that I just kind of thought of and thought would be cool as I was uploading. So yeah, that was a big one. And I haven't been able to keep the momentum up, but I'll maybe talk about why at the end. So in August, I had 6,543 views, sold 688 products, and a conversion rate of 10%. So my conversion rate was 5% or lower my first 4 months, and then it jumped up to 10. But again, this is August, it's back to school time. So people are shopping and looking for products. Meanwhile, maybe that April to July, not so much. Then in September, I did have a drop. I'd had now 119 products. I made $2,159.86. I had 4,208 views, sold 420 products, and a conversion rate of 9.6%. So I thought that was still pretty good, considering, right, that it had only been 7 months at that point. Wait, April, May, June, July, August, September. It had only been 6 months at that point, so I was kind of shocked that I still made that much. In October, let's see, again, I went down and made $1,974.51. I had 3,729 views, 370 units sold, and a conversion rate of 9.8%. And I think, so as I was looking through the top sellers for October, it was mainly, I made a couple of Halloween resources, and those two were really the ones that kept me afloat. Same thing for November with Thanksgiving resources, but again, sales went down again in November. I had 132 products at this time, and I made $1,434.36. I had 3,191 views, 308 units sold, and a conversion rate of 9.3%. And again, in November, huge chunk were those Thanksgiving resources. In December, again, went down again to $1,123.18. And again, I made, I think, 5 or 6 seasonal, like holiday or winter resources that I had never used in my classroom, but I was kind of figuring for Teachers Pay Teachers, that might be what people were searching for. So I made those just for the purpose of TPT, and those really kept me afloat again. So I noticed that through, well, I'll finish the rest of the stats, and I'll go back to what I noticed at the end. But so again, I made $1,123.18 in December, 2,252 views, 238 units sold, and a 10% conversion rate, which is the highest, other than August, highest conversion rate that I've had since the beginning. So before I give the totals for April to December, my first 9 months on Teachers Pay Teachers, what I noticed was August and September, I think, are outliers because they're back to school. But as my numbers went down and down and down from September to December, I'm noticing that there are a few products that kept me afloat to get to that 1,000 or more rate. And that was a couple of evergreen products, like full units that are like $20. A couple of those sold here and there. They're not my most sold items, but they are the highest ticket items. Most of my resources are like $3 to $5. And again, September, October, November, December, that handful of seasonal resources is the reason I think that I made as much as I did. So just to go over the totals, I now have 148 resources in my store that I've made from April to December. And again, those are mostly just like one-off lessons or resources that I have made over the past few years, plus some seasonal things here and there that I created. And again, I've been uploading no rhyme or reason, but I'm going to change that this year, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I'll go over my all-time totals. So my all-time April to December of 2023, $11,652.05. I had 24,788 views, 2,225 units sold, and an overall conversion rate of 8.7%. So looking into the future of 2024, I'm kind of just hoping to make around the same this year, probably a little bit more. My goal is, I don't know if I can do it, but my goal is 15,000 this year. And just a few noticings, my learnings from along the way. So back to school resources clearly are almost worth half of my sales, so maybe I should make some more of those. Also, seasonal resources are what kept me afloat during those months after back to school. I have some evergreen resources, but maybe I need to find a way, either through SEO or other means, to increase views. So I do zero marketing. I know nothing about it, haven't tried it. So all of this is just organic TPT traffic. So maybe I can start that for my evergreen resources, but also going off of my evergreen resources, what I need to do is stop uploading with no rhyme or reason and start thinking about product lines and full unit bundles. I have a few where I took like a whole unit and broke down lessons, posted all the lessons, and then bundled them. But I think I need to do that more. That way all of my products lead to a bundle rather than one-off lessons on this or that don't connect. So that's something I definitely want to do in 2024. I want to start marketing, make bundles, make more seasonal products, make more back to school products. And I want to start studying my data a bit more, just because as I was doing this to record this video, I noticed that I have one $30 bundle that made $1,405 by itself. And then after that, my top 15 items are really where the bulk of my income came from. And my top 50, I would say, are 90% of what I made. And even though I have 148 resources, that means 100 out of my 148 resources are not making me that much money. So I really want to look into what about my top 50 or so, top 50 or so have in common that I can make more of, or what are my smaller resources that are not making as much money need in the listing to be optimized so that I can convert more and sell more. Because I don't think they're necessarily bad lessons. Maybe they're just not, maybe the product description, the preview, and everything is not up to the standard it should be in order to get that conversion. So I hope that this was helpful for you in evaluating your own Teachers Pay Teachers store. Please let me know in the comments how you're doing, any questions that you have, what your thoughts are, what are your goals for 2024, what are some go-to strategies or takeaways that you had from this year that you found are going to be important to focus on in the next year. And I wish you guys all a lot of success. And yeah, so don't be afraid to comment below. I will reply to as many as I can if you have any questions or comments. All right, thank you so much, and let 2024 be a moneymaker. All right, bye guys.